So the NBA has officially launched an investigation into Joel Embiid and the 76ers, but are they right in doing so based on recent events? We'll talk about that and get some more details. Also, Tyrese Maxey has the worst whistle in the NBA, and it was on full display last night. And should Sixer fans be worried about what they saw in Game 1, or were there some positives to take away? We'll get into it all, but welcome into Philly Take with RB. Do me a favor, like this video. Go down below and hit that subscribe button. Help us get to 40K. Appreciate everybody who tapped in live with us last night for pregame, live game, and postgame. We had a good time, even though the Sixers did not in the second half as they kind of bottomed out and they fall to 0-1 on the season. But my question of the day to the people out there listening, drop your thoughts down in the comments. Should we even care about Game 1? I had a hard time really getting invested because I feel like this is not what the Sixers are. This is not who they are. And you're down 2 stars. And when those guys come back, the team is going to be completely different. It's a completely different dynamic, a different landscape. So do you care about the loss last night or more of the individual performances? Give me your thoughts down below. And just coming out a few minutes ago, the Sixers' new court for the NBA Cup this season. It'll tie into actually what we're going to talk about. But thankfully, they got rid of that red that literally made my eyes bleed. I mean, I think that red last year gave me permanent eye damage. So thankfully, the Sixers went with a blue court this year. Looks a lot better. But again, the NBA Cup, who really cares, right? We'll get into that. But let's talk about Joel Embiid, because the NBA, per Shams, has now officially started an investigation into the 76ers about player participation of Joel Embiid. Yesterday, they said that the NBA was set to begin, and boom, they're already into it. Now, there has been a ton of lash on social media today, and here's my main question. Is the NBA going to treat everybody else fairly, right? Zion Williamson did not play last night with an illness. Is he going to get investigated? What about Kawhi Leonard, who is now, quote-unquote, missing weeks due to knee inflammation? Look, I'm not saying these guys aren't injured or sick, but what I am saying is that I feel like it's more about the name on the back of the jersey, okay? The 76ers have always been treated harsher in these situations. The most recent example is a couple years ago. A lot of teams, right, talking to free agents. The Knicks get docked. I think it was 1 second-round pick for tampering with Jalen Brunson, who's a star player. And the Sixers get docked 2 second-round picks for tampering with PJ Tucker and Daniel House Jr. And now, because Joel Embiid and the Sixers brass, I guess, went out and said that they were going to plan to sit him on back-to-backs and try to preserve his health, now there's an entire investigation about the credibility of this, if he's hurt or not. I still go back to a couple days ago when they said he's not going to scrimmage yet in practice, and now, as the season has begun, he is still not even going to suit up for at least the first 3 games and probably even more. So here's my stance on it. Should Sixer fans be frustrated about the lack of transparency and clarity here? Absolutely. I am annoyed as well. I'm getting a lot of people today saying, yo, RB, why are you defending this? Why aren't you mad? I am annoyed. I am frustrated. I want to see this team as a core. When is the last time that this basketball team had a normal start to the NBA season? It has been at least 5 years. I'm tired of the lack of transparency from this organization. But on the other hand, Joel Embiid is obviously still dealing with some kind of injury. What team would go out and sit a player the first 3 or more games to start an NBA season? So he's obviously dealing with something. But because he's Joel Embiid, he's going to be subject to penalty. And there's going to be an investigation. And there always is with the 76ers, right? So my thing is that there needs to be more transparency. But Joel Embiid and this team are exhausting all options to try to get him to the playoffs healthy. And every year, we as a fan base come together and we say, damn, he's so good, but he just can't get to the playoffs healthy. He can't have one healthy playoff run. So now they're trying to put a plan in place to at least get him there healthy and see what we can do with it, see if they can run with it. And now we're frustrated about that. You know why the NBA is mad? Because last year with the new rule changes, they said that players had to play nationally televised games and that you can't sit more than one healthy star. Well, PG's injured, okay? They want Joel Embiid to play in the big games because they want to make more money. That's why they are frustrated, and that's why they are coming at Philly. Now, should they have gone out and completely said, you know, we're not going to play back-to-backs ever again, and we're going to do this? Look, I don't know. But at the end of the day, they are trying to get him to the playoffs healthy. And my thing is, let's not act like no other player in the history of the game has load managed in a season. Matter of fact, it's happened more times than I can count. We have seen the last couple of seasons, players getting to the playoffs and everybody gets injured. So the Sixers are trying to prevent that, and they know that Embiid may not have a long shelf life, so they're doing what it takes to try to get him one healthy playoff run in the next couple of years, and they are now going to be penalized. I can already see what's going to happen. They're going to get docked the pick. It's just annoying, man. There is a lot of cloudiness to begin the season, and it is frustrating and really is a slap in the face to the fans who pay their hard-earned money to even go to the games, and they don't know what to expect on a nightly basis. So hopefully we get some more answers. Nick Nurse said today that Joel Embiid and Paul George were partial participants in practice, and he believes they are making progress and said they did some live stuff, but still no scrimmaging. Here is a video after practice today. PG and Andre Drummond chopping it up. Tyrese Maxey shooting some push shots with Ricky Council IV. So they're getting in some work after a tough night last night. Tyrese Maxey had a tough night last night. And speaking of which, and the NBA not liking Philly, Tyrese Maxey goes 10 for 31 last night. It was not a good game, but even more so, he had the worst whistle of any player on any team. And quite frankly, he was disrespected by the officials, even though he is a young emerging star. He had 25 points on 31 attempts. And Tyrese Maxey came out and took accountability for that. It's not like he's ducking away from the pressure. It's not like he doesn't realize that he played an awful game. He says, quote, "Us winning cannot be solely on Joel Embiid. It just can't. If Joel doesn't play and we lose every single game, then we can't win like that." I also think that he was starting to force, and he was uncomfortable, and he felt like he had to do more because he was not getting a whistle either. And meanwhile, you have Giannis Antetokounmpo putting his shoulder down like he's playing football, belting guys out of the way. Nothing at all. They reward Giannis. Maxey only went to the line twice. Giannis went a million times. And here's just one play, one example. I can think of 10 off the top of my head from last night. But Maxey goes in, draws clear contact, and nothing is called. Nothing is called. There was even another play where he got hit. He turned around. He thought he had the foul, and he didn't. And Maxey got mad at the officiating. So it's just getting out of hand at this point. Same thing we had to go through last year. Maybe Maxey, I guess, is too young. 23, right, to earn the officials' respect, but it's ridiculous, man. When is he going to get a whistle? Because right now he is the worst in the NBA. Here's what Nick Nurse said about Tyrese Maxey's whistle last night. Quote, "I think we went through this last year. He's driving, seems like he's getting bumped pretty hard, and for whatever reason, it doesn't seem like he gets the calls. I don't have a solution to asking for him to get a few more of those calls." And Nick Nurse just kind of laughing about it. I mean, what do you want him to do? Maybe he can go out there and get a tech. Maybe Nick Nurse can get ejected from a game and try to, get some juice within this team and make them pissed off. Maybe they do have to complain more. All I know is that Giannis has the best whistle in the NBA, and I know people are going to say Joel Embiid, but the way Giannis plays versus the way Embiid plays is entirely different. Joel gets triple teamed, he gets hacked left and right, and he actually earns it and goes to the line and makes the free throws. That is why people get frustrated. Because Joel Embiid is an elite free throw shooter, whereas Giannis can't seem to hit any of them. So that's my takeaway on that. Tyrese Maxey has an awful whistle, but he also has to be better. And I said it on the pregame show yesterday. I knew people were going to overreact right out of the gate if Maxey did not play well. And to that, I say we need to relax. Going back to the opening question, do I care about this game? Not really. I think there's a few positives we can take away. But until I see this unit with Paul George and Joel Embiid on the floor, because they will play completely different, I cannot really evaluate. And I know it sucks to hear that. It is frustrating, even for me as well. But I'm only looking at individuals last night. I mean, the Bucks had too much size. They were knocking down their shots. Give them credit in the second half. Sixers just didn't have enough to win the game. And Tyrese Maxey obviously played bad, and he needs to not force as much, right? Maybe he's not ready to be a number one. Maybe he is. But he needs to play a more methodical game. And I felt like Gary Trent Jr., who did a great job, by the way, was really making him uncomfortable. But Drummond had 13 rebounds, 10 and 13. I really liked Caleb Martin off the bench last night. Maybe he should start next game. He had 12 points, played 37 minutes. So, I mean, he played the second most, but Nurse gave the start to KJ. Felt like he kind of pulled the plug on him a little bit early, but Caleb Martin was making some great defensive plays. He had a block last night. Surprised he didn't have any steals, but Caleb Martin hit a couple big shots as well. He was creating off the dribble, and he had 9 rebounds. So I really liked the game of Caleb Martin last night. I liked Oubre with 21, and I also like Gershon Yabusele. Maybe he can start next game or in the next few. Get him some more run. I mean, his aggressiveness, he was playing physical. I am surprised that Jared McCain did not get in earlier. He only played 4 minutes, but for a guy that was able to knock down shots at a high clip in the preseason, and for a guy who really could have helped his team as they shot 8 for 31 from deep last night, I feel like Jared McCain could have been a spark off the bench. So we'll see if Nurse can trust more of these young guys moving forward, but I am not ready to hit the panic button just yet. Tyrese Maxey will get better. He will learn. At least he stayed aggressive. At least he didn't shy away and just say, I'm in my head. I'm not going to do this anymore. He kept going. So I like that he's not making excuses, and I think the Sixers will bounce back. They definitely need a couple wins here in the next couple games, but give me your thoughts down below in the comments section. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That being said, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.